The cat that chose us for thousands of years. Cats have carried a reputation that seems impossible to shake. Independent, unpredictable, creatures that come and go on their own terms. They accept our homes, but never seem to fully accept us. Unlike dogs, cats were never bred to wait patiently for human approval. They hunt alone, they decide when to be touched, and they have perfected the art of making affection feel like a privilege instead of a guarantee. But that is not the whole story, because hidden among the hundreds of cat breeds alive today are a remarkable few that seem to have rewritten the rules. Cats that do not simply tolerate people. They look for them. They wait by the door. They follow footsteps from room to room. Some learn routines almost as quickly as the humans they live with. Others respond to their names. They enjoy simple training. And they willingly become part of everyday life. Not because they have to, but because they choose to. So in this video, easy to tame does not mean forcing a wild animal to obey. It means something far more extraordinary, a natural willingness to trust, to cooperate, to communicate, to build a partnership with humans, from quiet companions that simply enjoy your presence, to playful geniuses that insist on helping with everything you do. These are 7 cat breeds that make earning feline trust feel surprisingly effortless. And by the time we reach number 1, you may begin to wonder if you ever truly chose your cat, or if your cat quietly chose you first. Number 7. British Shorthair, the quiet companion. Morning arrives quietly. The house is still. A kettle begins to boil in the kitchen. Someone walks past the living room carrying a cup of coffee, and on the far end of the sofa, a pair of amber eyes slowly opens. The cat does not rush over. It does not meow. It does not demand breakfast. Instead, it stretches once, climbs down with deliberate calm, and follows at a respectful distance, always close enough to know where you are, never close enough to become a burden. That quiet balance is one reason the British Shorthair has earned a reputation as one of the easiest cat breeds to live with. Unlike highly demanding breeds, British Shorthairs are often content simply sharing the same space. They do not need to become the center of every moment. Sometimes, just being nearby is enough. It is a personality that can make first-time owners feel as though they have somehow skipped the difficult part of earning a cat's trust. Of course, every cat is an individual. Some British Shorthairs are more affectionate than others, but many are known for their calm temperament, steady routines, and ability to adapt to family life without unnecessary drama. Their friendship rarely arrives with loud announcements. It grows slowly, one quiet morning, one shared room, one familiar routine at a time. And perhaps that is what makes it feel so genuine. Because trust does not always arrive running. Sometimes, it simply walks beside you. But while the British Shorthair prefers peaceful companionship, the next cat has an entirely different idea. It believes that if you are doing something, it should probably be involved too. Number 6. Abyssinian, the curious explorer. Some cats watch your life from a distance. An Abyssinian would rather be part of it. You set a shopping bag on the floor. Before you have even unpacked the first item, a pair of curious ears appears beside it. The bag is inspected. The box is investigated. Every unfamiliar object becomes a mystery waiting to be solved. And somehow, your 5-minute chore has gained a very enthusiastic assistant. This endless curiosity is one of the defining traits of the Abyssinian. Widely admired for its intelligence and energy, this breed does not simply share your home. It studies it. An Abyssinian wants to know why the dishwasher suddenly makes a different sound, why that drawer has been left open, why you are carrying a ladder across the living room, and most importantly, whether it should be involved. That curiosity also makes many Abyssinians surprisingly responsive to positive training. With patience and consistency, many can learn simple tricks, follow routines, retrieve toys, or respond when called. Not because they crave obedience, but because learning itself seems to be part of the game. Living with an Abyssinian can feel less like owning a pet, and more like sharing your home with a tiny explorer who refuses to let a single moment go undocumented. Its greatest reward is not food. It is discovery. Every room is a new landscape. Every sound deserves investigation. Every day offers another puzzle. And if the British Shorthair quietly shares your space, the Abyssinian insists on sharing your adventures. But curiosity is not the only path to companionship. The next cat has mastered something even more powerful: conversation. Number 5. Siamese, the cat that never stops talking. Long before you see it, you hear it. A soft, raspy voice echoes from somewhere down the hallway. Not a cry, not a warning, almost a conversation. You answer without thinking. A few seconds later, a slender figure rounds the corner, tail held high, blue eyes fixed on you, as if the discussion has only just begun. Some cats communicate mostly through body language. A Siamese prefers dialogue. Few cat breeds are as famously vocal. They do not simply announce that they are hungry or waiting by the door. Many seem determined to comment on everything that happens around them. Leave the room, and they may call after you. Open a cupboard, and they may arrive to inspect your decision. Sit down after a long day, and do not be surprised if they have something to say about that too. For some owners, it can feel like living with a tiny roommate who has very strong opinions and absolutely no hesitation about sharing them. But beneath that endless conversation lies something far more meaningful: connection. Siamese cats are widely known for forming strong bonds with their families. Many enjoy interactive play. They quickly learn household routines, and they often respond enthusiastically to positive reinforcement. Some learn to retrieve toys, walk comfortably with a harness, or come when called, not because they are trying to please you, but because they genuinely enjoy participating. To a Siamese, life is not something to watch from across the room. It is something to experience together. Of course, that level of companionship comes with responsibility. A Siamese left without enough attention or stimulation may become bored, or very determined to remind you that it exists. This is not the quiet cat for someone seeking silence. It is the cat for someone who enjoys conversation, even when only one side speaks the same language. And if the Siamese wants your attention, the next breed rarely asks for it, because wherever you go, it is already there. Number 4. Burmese, the living shadow. You stand up to answer the door. A few seconds later, there is a second set of footsteps, almost silent, almost weightless, always there. You walk into the kitchen, it follows. You move to the bedroom, it follows. You sit down to read. Moments later, a warm body quietly settles beside you, as though this had always been part of the plan. For many Burmese owners, this is not an occasional habit. It is simply everyday life. The Burmese is often described as one of the most people-oriented cat breeds in the world, not because it constantly demands attention, but because it genuinely seems to prefer sharing whatever you are doing, whether you are working, cooking, folding laundry, or doing absolutely nothing at all. The Burmese often wants to be there too. Its greatest comfort is not a favorite chair. It is proximity. This natural desire to stay close also makes the breed highly responsive to daily routines. Many Burmese quickly learn household schedules, recognize familiar words, and eagerly anticipate the moments they know they will spend with their favorite humans. Positive reinforcement often comes naturally, not because the Burmese is trying to impress anyone, but because cooperation becomes part of the relationship. Unlike more independent breeds that may disappear for hours, the Burmese often treats your home as a shared experience. If you are awake, life is happening. If you are moving, something interesting must be happening. And if you have disappeared into another room, well, it probably deserves investigation. Of course, that deep attachment also means this breed generally thrives in homes where companionship is part of everyday life. Long periods of isolation can be harder for some Burmese than for more independent cats. Because beneath all that confidence is a remarkably social heart, a cat that seems happiest when life is experienced, side by side. But even the Burmese has limits. The next breed does not just stay close, it searches for warmth, both literally and emotionally. Number 3. Sphynx, the warmest cat you will ever meet. On a cold winter morning, before the alarm has even finished ringing, something warm slips beneath the blanket, a tiny heartbeat, a gentle nudge against your shoulder, then complete stillness. Not because it is hiding, but because this is exactly where it wanted to be. At first glance, the Sphynx hardly looks like the cat most people imagine. No soft coat, no fluffy tail, no thick fur catching the morning light. Its wrinkled skin, oversized ears, and striking eyes have made it one of the most recognizable and misunderstood cat breeds in the world. But spend a single day living with one, and its appearance quickly becomes the least interesting thing about it. The Sphynx is remarkably social. Many actively seek human interaction. They follow family members from room to room and eagerly join almost every daily activity because they have little or no insulating fur. They often enjoy warm places, soft blankets, sunny windows, and quite often, their favorite person, a shoulder, a lap, a blanket already occupied. To a Sphynx, your body is not simply a comfortable place to sleep. It is where warmth and companionship naturally come together. That desire for closeness can also make positive training surprisingly rewarding. Many Sphynx cats respond enthusiastically to routines, interactive games, and gentle encouragement. They turn ordinary moments into shared experiences. They are not simply looking for comfort, they are looking for connection. Of course, owning a Sphynx also comes with responsibilities. Without a protective coat, they require regular skin care, and they benefit from warm indoor environments. Their affection is extraordinary, but so is the care they ask in return. Perhaps that is why people who live with a Sphynx rarely describe the relationship as ownership. They describe it as companionship, a quiet agreement between two warm creatures choosing to share the same space. But if the Sphynx teaches us that trust can grow through closeness, the next cat proves that true gentleness has nothing to do with size. Number 2. Maine Coon, the gentle giant. Every afternoon, just a few minutes before the school bus arrives, the front door opens. Not because anyone called, not because food is waiting, but because someone knows it is almost time. A massive cat quietly walks onto the porch. It sits, it waits, and as familiar footsteps race up the driveway, its tail begins to sway. There is something wonderfully unexpected about a Maine Coon. Everything about this breed suggests power. A broad chest, towering legs, heavy paws, a tail that flows behind it like a winter scarf. It is one of the largest domestic cat breeds in the world. Yet beneath that impressive size is a temperament that has earned it another nickname, the gentle giant. Many Maine Coons are known for approaching life with remarkable patience. Rather than demanding constant attention, they often choose to become part of whatever the family is already doing. Watching dinner being prepared, following children from room to room, resting nearby while everyone gathers in the evening. Their size may be the first thing people notice, but their calm confidence is what people remember. That steady temperament can also make positive training surprisingly effective. Many enjoy puzzle toys, interactive games, and simple routines built through repetition and rewards. Some happily retrieve toys. Others come when called, not because they are trying to behave like dogs, but because they are curious enough to discover that working together can be rewarding. Perhaps that is the secret behind the Maine Coon's popularity. It never tries to dominate the room, despite being the biggest cat in it. Instead, it quietly fills the room with something much harder to measure: a feeling of safety, of patience, of quiet companionship that asks for very little, yet somehow gives so much in return. And finally, we arrive at a cat whose greatest strength is not its intelligence, or its size, or even its curiosity. It is trust. Number 1. Ragdoll. The cat that chooses to trust. There is a moment, so ordinary that most people never think twice about it. You reach down, slide your hands beneath your cat, and gently lift. For many animals, that instant means uncertainty, a loss of control, a reason to tense every muscle and prepare to escape. But a ragdoll often responds very differently. Its body softens, its paws relax, its breathing slows, and for a few quiet moments, it simply rests. Not because it has given up, but because it feels safe. That remarkable sense of calm inspired the breed's unforgettable name. Many ragdolls are known for their relaxed nature and their willingness to remain comfortable when handled gently by people they know and trust. They do not rush through life. They do not constantly demand attention. Instead, they seem to understand something that many animals spend a lifetime learning: that not every hand reaching toward them means danger. Of course, trust is never automatic. Every cat is shaped by its early experiences, its environment, and the patience of the people around it. Even the gentlest breed can become fearful if treated poorly. And even the most independent cat can learn to trust when kindness is offered consistently. But the ragdoll often begins that journey with an extraordinary advantage: a naturally gentle temperament, a quiet confidence, and a willingness to stay close long enough for trust to grow. Perhaps that is why so many owners describe living with one not as training a cat, but as sharing life with a companion who simply enjoys being near. It does not ask for the spotlight. It does not need to prove its affection. It just appears beside you, day after day, until one morning you realize it has quietly become part of every routine you love. And maybe that is what the strongest bond between humans and cats has always looked like. Not obedience, not dependence, just trust, freely given. For thousands of years, cats have walked beside us, across ancient farms, through crowded cities, and into the quiet corners of our homes. Some remained wonderfully independent. Others discovered that life could be shared. The 7 breeds you have seen today each express that partnership in a different way. The quiet companionship of the British Shorthair, the endless curiosity of the Abyssinian, the conversations of the Siamese, the unwavering loyalty of the Burmese, the warmth of the Sphynx, the gentle confidence of the Maine Coon, and finally, the quiet trust of the Ragdoll. But perhaps the most important lesson is not which breed is easiest to tame. Because the truth is, the best relationships with cats are never built through control. They are built through patience, through routine, through respect, and through hundreds of small moments that slowly teach an animal that it is safe. Maybe that is why the most rewarding part of living with a cat is not the day it learns your voice or follows you from room to room. It is the day it chooses to close its eyes, curl up beside you, and trust you enough to fall asleep. If you could share your life with just one of these incredible breeds, which would you choose? Tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the remarkable world of cats, like the video, and subscribe to Wild Unknown for more cinematic stories inspired by the extraordinary lives of animals. Until next time, stay curious.